Hi, I'm Patrick,
And I'm Vanessa.
and we've been an interable couple since 2010. One of the things we love to do is travel, so this is how I fly with the power wheelchair.
So, this is his secondary chair.
I use this because it's an older backup chair, but it is a standing power chair, and we label the brakes so that the airlines know that is a common term instead of like levers or motors. Everybody understands brakes, so we have a sign in three different languages on the brakes.
Yeah, and these levers, these are the ones that engage and disengage the motors. Um,
So that they can push the chair.
yeah, it puts it into neutral. So, the first thing that I learned through travel is in the back of the chair, there are these holes that has a bolt in it, and it helps to angle the back of his chair. I don't want them coming off, and I don't want anyone messing with them. So the last time we flew, I went ahead and I put some duct tape on top of them. So this way they'd be less likely to go ahead and mess with them.
That way, when you get the chair back, it's not fully in recline.
Yeah, happened to us. The second thing for our last trip in 2023, we went to Europe. I picked up an Apple AirTag, so this way we could go ahead and track the chair while we were flying and while we were in the airport. I unzipped the back of the backrest, the seat, and I tucked in there the little Apple tag. And then on my phone, I was able to go ahead and see exactly where everything was while we were in the airport.
Just make sure you put the tracker on a part of the chair that doesn't come off.
Yes. The other thing that I do is I remove the bolts for the knee blocks that his specific chair has. And I take tools with me. In a bunch of airports, they really did not like in security the wrenches. Everything else was okay, but I explained to them that all these tools were necessary for me to go ahead and remove parts. So here I am. I am removing the bolts on the knee blocks. I go ahead and take a Ziploc bag with me to hold everything inside of, keep it all together. You might want some baby wipes because sometimes stuff is greasy and gets on your fingers. I go ahead and undo the other side. I loosen them up and I put the bolts into the Ziploc bag and I push in the knee blocks, tuck them away. The other thing that's really important is I remove the joystick. I don't want that broken going underneath the plane. So inside the airport, I go ahead and unplug the joystick and I use my Allen wrenches to loosen up the two little screws underneath. And I loosen them up. I put those into the Ziploc bags and then I move on to some more parts. I want to remove the headrest. So in the back of the headrest, there's another little bolt that I use the Allen wrench, remove that. And everything's going to go into a giant duffel bag. And I put everything in there. I put the headrest in there. I put the cushion in there. I put the electronics in there, the joystick. We removed the cushion seat. We put that in there. And here Patrick is getting put into the aisle chair.
Okay, this is how I get on the plane. So for transfers, you either have to educate the airport personnel or have somebody traveling with you. That's preferable. Traveling with you help you transfer, move you, lift you. The aisle chair is very skinny. I call it the Hannibal Lecter chair. They strap me in, as you can tell by the look on my face. I'm not all that excited for this part of the project, but this is how I have to get on the plane. Until we have a way to stay in our wheelchairs on the plane, this is how we do it for now. So they move me onto the plane, they take me down the aisle, and in the meantime, my wife takes the rest of the stuff off the chair that she's going to need. Anything else that will come off goes in that big duffel bag, comes on the plane with us, up to and including the cushion. You may want to sit on your cushion while riding on the plane because it's a lot more comfortable than the seats on the airplane. So once I get in and transferred over, then I'm all set in my seat,
Yep,
ready to
and
go.
yeah, and then before the chair goes underneath the plane, I I created with some language teachers some signs to put onto the chairs and be laminated. They're available on Patrick's website, Patrick Motion, MOESCHEN.com, and we'll put a link below in the comments. But I print it out, I label it with our name, phone number, what language we prefer, and they're laminated. I affix them to the chair. And here Patrick is getting onto his seat. Notice how we don't have the cushion this time, but a lot of times he does like to sit on the cushion.
Depends how long the flight is. So again, have somebody that's with you transfer you over if possible, or you have to give clear instructions to airport personnel. The last time we flew Delta, and they have a new thing called the White Glove, Delta White Glove, and it's for people with disabilities. And what they do is they give you this mobility device handling form, and they want to know, do you have a dry cell battery or wet cell? Most of it's dry. They give you a checklist of what parts you're taking on the plane and what parts are staying on the chair. They're going to want to know the weight of the chair and the length and width in inches and centimeters. So having this stuff ready before you go to the airport is great because then you can just tell them. The other thing that Delta does that's pretty great is once your chair is loaded, they'll come back in with a photo of it and they'll show you in your seat where the chair is. And they also give you this UPC tag that goes on the chair. And as long as you're flying with the same chair, if you fly Delta, then they just scan the UPC symbol in the future and all of your information goes right into their computer. It's good. It's a lot better than it used to be flying with a power chair. There's just a few things. Here's the summary of what you need to do for a checklist. You may want a Ziploc bag for small parts, a duffel bag for larger chair parts. Bring the tools with you, and also make sure that you are early. As always, if you have to be an hour and a half early, it's better to be 2 hours early so you can talk to the ramp crew and you can figure out exactly what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. The big thing to stress is if it's a power chair, not to lift it. Everybody wants to lift. Make sure they disengage the motors and they just roll it. Okay, so you can read the rest of the summary stuff yourself. And as always, if you have questions or want further details, you can reach us on our Mohack Life Instagram, or you can leave a comment below on the YouTube. We hope this was helpful. Happy flying, and it has gotten a lot better than it used to be.
Awesome. Take care. Bye-bye.